Istiklal Street is a place in Turkey's capital, Istanbul, where there are 2 million footfalls almost on a daily basis. 2 million, which is 20 lakh people crisscross that one long street on one day in 24 hours. And you know how many garbage bags, how many ice cream wrappers or chocolate wrappers you will find or chips bag on the street? None, zero. You know why? Because first of all, people are sensitized. They know that I don't have to throw it. Even if someone throws it, there are people at every 100 meters with a broom and a collection box, and they collect that wrapper. So this is Singapore, for that matter. Why I am mentioning these names? Because one would say that Pankaj is speaking through his expensive hat, mentioning all the foreign countries. But hey, let me remind you of all the political promises that we had कि हम दिल्ली को सिंगापुर बना देंगे, हम भारत को ये बना देंगे, हम वो बना देंगे. ये नहीं होगा unless we change ourselves, unless we take the pledge, unless we take the onus upon ourselves. It is not going to happen. This will be repeated once again.
Well, certainly. Varghese, coming to the unscientific planning of underpasses and trying to really unravel what is ailing Delhi's, drainage problems, the drainage disaster rather. Do you have certain points? I mean, can we pinpoint what is not working out for Delhi for sure?
See, when you have
even as well showcasing visuals of Noida to the viewers now, where you can clearly see that comparatively it's much better than what we've seen in Gurugram and in the national capital. There are also voices in various corners and realms of society that say that Noida is a place that is developed by government agencies, whereas Delhi was something that had a lot of builder influence into it. So that's where the planning also
especially
comes
in
about.
Gurugram area also, there are a lot of builder elements.
Before we talk about the ailing points of Delhi, how are you looking at that comparison? You've lived in Delhi, now you're living in Noida. What's the comparison that you can
Delhi,
sort of draw?
There is a problem with Delhi is that you cannot fix anything unless you actually go on a demolition spree, because it's a very old city with a lot of communities that are there which are built over at times in planned places, but at times in completely unplanned manner in which the development has occurred. So it is not going to be easy to actually find out where these natural drains are or how to keep them clean. It's going to be a very difficult and high task. Now, if you are going to actually get to the natural drains, you will be surprised that you'll have to go through a lot of demolitions. You have to remove a lot of the buildings that have come upon these natural drains, and then that is going to be another headache for you. So Delhi, what is left you can do is that existing systems, you can identify the areas that inundation does take place and probably remodel those drains. Or it's very simple, in the summers ensure that you desilt the tertiary as well as the primary drains, the secondary drains and the tertiary drains all at the same time. All the three drains have to be done at the same time, and all of them have to be desilted at the same time, and the sedimentation should be removed along with the garbage and the possibility of this happening. So the idea is that the water should flow. All your drains should the idea is that it shouldn't get clogged and the water shouldn't accumulate. The water should flow. The constant flow of water should be recorded, and this is going to be a Herculean task, because for that you have to go to the maps of the drains, you have to go to the old natural drain maps, which just means you have to do so much of research on it. And existingly, as of now, fine relief that you can give, well, as I said, you have to wait and watch for the rains to come down, because now it is just too late. But once the monsoon ends, you have to constantly keep your drains clean. Nothing else can solve this problem other than to keep monitoring the blockages in the drains and to keep it constantly clean so that the water flow is always maintained. Otherwise, we are probably going to see a mess like this, or even a messier situation than this.
Well, certainly. Pankaj, in terms of what is ailing Delhi, what's your take on it? Is it drains not following the natural gradient of the area? Is it clogging of the drains? Is it unscientific planning? Varghese was talking about sedimentation in the initial bits of the show, and illegal construction, encroachment. What's your take on it? What do you think is ailing Delhi the most right now?
Yes, see, illegal encroachment is one big issue that is ailing Delhi for sure. And we had seen the drive from the Delhi Development Authority when they started dismantling and breaking down the illegal structures. But we also know what kind of politics happened after that, and also legal angle, religious angle, everything came into picture. We started attaching sentiments to it, कि हमारी क्यों तोड़ रहे हैं, देखिए कितने लोग और बनाते हैं, उनका क्यों नहीं होता है. अगेन दिस होल कॉज ऑफ natural dispensation or natural discharge of the garbage was again put on the back burner. So that was very much there. Now that is one aspect. The other aspect is sedimentation or desiltation or whatever it is. We are no experts in that regard of how these things can be cleaned up. But my only point is that it happens on two aspects. The first one is the urban planner should put into consideration the longevity, the life of the drainage system, first of all. If a drainage system would work only for, say, 10 years, then by 8th year, there should be proper cleaning up, there should be proper steps being taken to fix them and increase their life. The second one is the onus is on the people also. And the people, once again, I would say that in Delhi, let me go ahead and say in India, no one is concerned about what happens outside their houses. Okay, there are a few NGOs, there are a few nature crusaders, there are a few voices here and there, but trust me, they don't find a voice on the national media. They don't find voices or takers. The acceptability is not there because the danger is imminent, but we can't see it. We see it only once it rains, cats and dogs, and then we forget. अच्छा चलो ठीक है हो जाएगा बारिश हुई थी तो क्या हुआ? Let me do this once again. So people forget. The thing is, it has gotten into our DNA as such that we are so much surrounded by so many social issues here and there, bijli, pani, school, and everything, that this aspect, this hole in Rohini, has become a site of public ridicule.